so I assume it's not the first video you're watching about getting a job. So you might have the basics already in place, or you might know a bit like what you're supposed to do to get a job. So I will keep it simple. I will keep it direct in order to give you like the thing I wish people were talking about more, and just what helped me a lot, because I recently went through a job transition. So looking for a job while being at my current job. And I just want to share with you what I learned in that. Um, I will not talk about like alternative way to get a position. So like, for example, networking or going to events, etc. That's not that thing I did, but that didn't actually help me that much. But that's something you should absolutely do to get out of the not just answer to recruiting offer, but also just make your own chance. We'll not talk about it today. I'll go into first the resume, the CV, what should be on there. So first of all, I think you're overcomplicating way too much. You should really have that simple structure that can be easily scanned. I didn't use any fancy tool for that. I just used a Google Doc, one page. Keep it simple. I really want you to to understand that you need to be to get out of the pack. I talked about it a bit. Like, you need to be weird, but in the way that they want you to be weird. So you need to be, first of all, confident, and just make them understand that you are not here to joke around, that you are here to bring them result, and that you can do that in multiple ways. I will not show my actual CV because I don't want to dox myself, but something a bit ballsy I did was to have a goal at the top that reads, goal, be an exceptional collaborator on projects that drive real business results. All right, that's maybe a bit cringe, but I got the job anyway. And I just wanted to bring about the fact that I wanted to be a collaborator and to help the business make money. If you go from, in your mind, you need also to go from the begging mindset where you're like, oh, please give me a job, I will do anything, to like, you absolutely need to give me the job. I can help you do the thing you need. I can help you solve problem in your business. That's mindset shift that is very important. I personally work in IT, so I work as a programmer. So that might not apply to you directly, but something that's very important is to match the keyword that is in the description of the job listing. So for me, for example, that would be tech. That might be a behavioral thing or human quality that you want to put forward. So make sure to you can adapt to your CV to the job description, but make sure that things are in place. We'll talk about keyword a bit later because they're actually more important than I thought. And in general, you want to associate yourself with business results. So just like I said in my goal, I want to work on projects that drive real business results. I don't want to be, in business you have two centers. You have the cost center and the profit center, and you want to be in the profit center part. I would link an article down below if I don't forget. It's called Don't Call Yourself a Programmer. That is for IT, but I think it's very, very important to think about. If you can say, basically, I did this and it drove these results, it made this amount of money, be precise, actually, people really like precise number. It made this amount of money, it saved this amount of money, it saved, for example, time, or it smoothed out the process, it made the job easier, etc. Even if your job has nothing to, even if you are changing profession, if you are changing industry, that can really be valued. If you can bring forward that you are not a cost center, but a profit center, that's very important. That's about what I have to say about CV. I have a few things about interviews. So first of all, you really have to, I could talk about it for ages, but the thing you need to understand is that you need to do a ton of research on the company. You need to be very aware of what their history is, what their product is. Can you explain to me what the product is, what the company does? If you cannot, without asking during the interview, will bring you it will be less favorable for you, especially like since at the moment you know how the company works, how the company position itself, you can adapt your language accordingly. So don't give that to chance. Don't try to figure it out during the interview. Even if you have a few interview lined up, it really takes not that it doesn't take that long to get to know the basics of what the business does. Um, so really do the research. You'll be like above 90% of the other people. Um, and especially also more important research is like to go over what they would ask during the interview. So for me, for example, it would be a coding interview, coding task. What do they ask typically? There is some website for that. You can just Google it. I think Glassdoor has a something like this. You can find some info crowdsourced like this. And you really need to have an answer already thought of before you actually arrive in the interview. And if you cannot find any question that they ask, that doesn't matter, because they will often ask the same question, typically the behavioral question that is common to every job. So for example, tell us a bit about yourself. If you don't have answer that is not too rambly, that is to the point and can be a good jumping point to then talk more about the job, that could be fantastic. Talk about why you want to work at this company. That takes a bit of practice, but building because we all want to eat in the end. So you might not be super excited about the company you are applying for, but if you cannot find like a few things that excites you in it, so it could be like your challenges, autonomy. If you cannot think of something that's not too bad, but you really I can't feel manufacture this excitement in you. Even like if you need to pretend, it's okay. It's okay. We all need to eat. Also, another question, typically, tell us a time you had a conflict with a coworker, for example. They don't want you to like bring up dramas or anything. They want you to know that you can manage this kind of situation in like an adult and business way, professional way, sorry. So you can easily find like a question like this, because they really all ask the same ones, and you can find have at least concept of a plan for those questions that will really help you out. You will be way less stressed, and you'll be able to connect the different ideas. For example, what the business does, what you do with those questions. That will be very beneficial. Something I learned that I didn't really realize before is that you need to repeat what you say on your CV. So unfortunately, a lot of people who will receive you at your interview will not have read your CV. So please don't hesitate to repeat what you said. For example, if you typically if you associate yourself with business results, you want it on your CV, but also during the interview, like repeat those things. If you have projects, personal project, personal initiative, etc., you need to repeat it and make a link between the questions, etc. It's really because they will probably will not have read the CV. Speaking of that, I feel like a lot of sadly it's the same with school. Is that often it's about matching the keywords, matching the checkbox. So can this person do this? Has this person worked with X technology? Has this person X in that type of environment, which is like remote or with client directly, etc. And you want to, from the job description, be able to know those checkboxes, like what would they expect you to have, and like behavioral or experience or when you come to your skill, etc., and try to say them out loud. If they don't hear them out loud, and you will know that you have found a checkbox when they will have nod or like, oh yes, very good. Basically, you just hit a keyword, sorry, and it doesn't really matter what you said before as long as you check that keyword. That's unfortunate, but it's how the system works. You could also try to hit people up on LinkedIn. If you know the name of your interviewer, you will know because it's in their email. You can find them on LinkedIn and send them a message, for example, before or after the interview if you have extra questions. That could really show that you are motivated. If you have questions about the company, that, for example, the hiring manager might not be working within the company directly and not have like all the info about how this specific team works day to day, how is the what kind of project they're working on, extra. They might not have the up-to-date info. So that's what I did because I'm a try-hard, but you might not have to do it. But I got the job in the end, so maybe that helped. That's about it. Getting a job is very hard. It's sending thousands of applications without getting a response for a while or ever is very humiliating, but that's what you have to do. What I want you to remember is to take every opportunity you get to differentiate yourself from the pack, at least for this period of time. So, for example, if you can write a motivation letter or a cover letter, write it, write anything, as long as it appears human enough and relevant to the job enough, you can really set yourself up for success. I really wish you the best. I know how hard it is and how draining it can be, but yeah, I'm sure if you're looking this far into this video, you'll have your chance to get there. So good luck.